Burlington cruised in here with a win over Southeast Polk 65-44, but then stumbled to West Waterloo 93-70. Rather an astonishing defeat. Not the fact that they lost, but the margin of loss. That had everybody wondering here just how good West Waterloo was. Fort Dodge moved in with a win over Dowling of West Des Moines 66-55. Anytime you beat Dowling, you've done a good job. They're a very representative team, but then they came up against Carroll Kemper, and Kemper, with its discipline, won by a score of 71-59. So these two teams must content themselves with consolation championship. We have the number 3 offensive unit in the 3A tourney in Fort Dodge, averaging about 71.5 against the number 5, averaging 68. However, Burlington is the number 3 defensive unit in the 3A class, letting the opponents score something like 54.5, while Fort Dodge has let opponents get away with about 59 points a ball game. Interesting statistics, but more than that, you find that you have 2 excellent basketball teams who came into this tournament who are now vying for a consolation championship instead of the championship. That'll be contested between West Waterloo and Carroll Kemper. But they're smarting, Mitch, because they aren't in that championship final, so they're going to try and take it out on each other here this afternoon.
And a key might be Lawrence Ross, the boy that was injured for Burlington yesterday. Is he back all the way back after that injury?
Well, we've been watching him on the warm-ups. He looks pretty good, but time will tell. The buzzer, the horn, calls the teams to their respective benches and coaches, and we're going to go to Don Euchre for the introductions.
It's time for championship basketball. The consolation round. Class 3A. The visitors on the scoreboard from Fort Dodge, the Dodgers. The home team on the scoreboard from Burlington, the Greyhounds. And now, here are the reserves for the Dodgers. Number 13, Wade Lookingbill. Number 53, Rob Rhodes. Number 45, Ken Thedford. Number 43, Scott Patton. Number 35, Jim Ernessy. Number 33, Zeb Mosley. Number 31, Mike Tedford. Number 25, Ed Larson. Number 15, Rob Thorson. Number 11, Amin Al-Hamid. And the assistant coach, Mike Woodley and Don Cook. For Burlington, the Greyhounds. Number 54, Lance Volker. Number 50, Scott Brown. Number 44, Brian Whelan. Number 24, Pete Carlson. Number 14, Mark Johnson. Number 12, Dan Woodsmall. Number 52, Jeff Sauerwein. Number 34, Randy Gibbs. Number 22, Rob Harper. Number 10, Jerry Porter. And assistant coach, Tom Elmore. And now your starting lineups. For Fort Dodge, at forward, number 41, Brian Lomaka. For Burlington, number 30, Jeff Williams. At forward, for Fort Dodge, number 51, Mike Murphy. At forward, for Burlington, number 32, Shane White. The center, for the Dodgers, number 55, Jim Cooks. At center for the Greyhounds, number 42, Lawrence Ross. At guard for the Dodgers, number 21, J.D. Crumley. At guard for the Greyhounds, number 20, Charles Cannon. At guard for the Dodgers, number 23, Thomas Clark. And at guard for the Greyhounds, number 40, Baron Darnell. The head coach of the Fort Dodge Dodgers, Gary Reiners. And the head coach of the Burlington Greyhounds, Don Gibbs. Your officials for this ball game: the referee, Bob Locker of Slater. The umpire is Jerry Kindhart of Des Moines. And your auxiliary bench official, Bob Oldus of Iowa City.
And so the stage is set. The Burlington Greyhounds against the Fort Dodge Dodgers. The Dodgers the taller team on paper, but don't have sympathy for Burlington. They can sky. Ross can get up. As Mitch said, he hurt himself in that second round game. He apparently had even a little bit of a concussion in that game, Mitch. He looks pretty good here, and as you have pointed out previously, the facilities here for medical health and for first aid are excellent. There's no way, of course, that Ross would be playing if he didn't get clearance to play. So I think we can look for him to give us a outstanding response here today and unaffected by that particular injury.
Burlington is actually the defending Consolation runner-up. They were fourth place in this tournament a year ago. Fort Dodge, of course, wasn't here.
That's Lamica handling it, giving it to J.D. Crumley, to Murphy underneath the Lamica. Beautifully done. Lamica draws first blood.
Two teams playing without the tension when you saw him yesterday. This could be fun basketball.
Darnell, he runs the ball club. Baron Darnell inside to Ross. Gives it back to Cannon. Kicked it around, lost it, picked up by Lamica. So Fort Dodge in their predominantly red uniform with the black numerals, white piping, in control, traveled by J.D. Stands for John David. Right. John David Crumley.
There you go.
J.D.
Right over there, man.
But he prefers J.D., and that's what they call him. Taking it out of bounds will be Jeff Williams, a 6'1" sophomore. Here's a kid who can sky, plays a lot of basketball. Darnell, as you can surmise from his build, a football player and a doggone good one. Beautiful pass underneath to Williams, rejected, and a foul on Jimmy Crooks. 6'8" senior.
How about that for big?
55.
I've figured out why J.D. Crooks is on this ball club. Mark, you'll see him get caught for the foul in there. Big guy.
He is a big fella, but he moves very smoothly.
He's lost about 30 pounds, still missed 225. They bring him along in case they have a flat tire in the bus. They just have him lifted up while they change it.
Williams is perfect on his initial free throw attempt. He's a 67%er. He had 14 in the Southeast Polk win, and then came back with 13 in the loss to West Waterloo. So we are knotted at 2-all, 3A Consolation Championship. 3 other Consolation champions have been determined, and 2 tournament champions will be determined tonight. 2 others have already been determined.
And, of course, every boy out there is still eligible for all tournament. Both schools are still eligible for the Sportsmanship Award in AAA.
Ross with the save, the long pass down to Cannon. It'll go, and Murphy gets saddled with a foul.
Did he change his shot in midair? But what a nice effort that was.
You saw the athletic talent of not only Murphy, but also of Williams.
Right. Oh, was that a nice... He changed the game plan right in midair.
So Williams has a total of 4.
They call this guy Pistol.
And give him 5. 3 for 3 from the line.
Charlie Cannon.
By 3, Burlington. Fort Dodge led 2-0 momentarily. In the backcourt, that's Cannon all over J.D. Crumley, but Crumley survives it, moves into the front court. Looking inside, nice pass to Murphy, and Murphy with the left hand sticks it. Murphy has not had a particularly good tournament. 9 in the Dowling win, 4 in the loss to Carroll Kemper. Underneath, it's Williams. He'll have another chance for another 3-point play as he is fouled by Thomas Clark, his first.
Jeff Williams. You take a look at this for Jeff down there in the baseline. You've seen his daddy play a lot of times. His name was Super Sam Williams. He was a junior college All-American at Burlington, then got some All-American mention for Ralph Miller at Iowa on a Big Ten champion. He was only a freshman last year, but a starter this year as a sophomore.
3 out of 3 free throws. The score is Williams 7, Fort Dodge 4. Quickly, Clark.
Ooh.
And it'll be offense, charging his second personal foul.
Tom Clark, I think, fouled out of the ball game yesterday in that action.
He did. Scored 12 points in the loss to Carroll Kemper.
You look at this contact. That takes some courage to go in there and draw that one from Clark.
Fort Dodge can move. Burlington likes to run and tried to run with West Waterloo. Could not, as it turned out. I don't think anybody can run with them.
They're running with some great referees out there right now. Bob Locker from Slater that you met the referee. This is his 10th state tournament. 5 state championship games he had worked.
Intended for Williams. Crook saw it coming. Tipped it away. Lamaka has it and gives it to J.D.
The other official, Jerry Kindhart of Des Moines, is working his 7th state tournament.
Inside to Lamaka. Baseliner from Murphy.
There's Murphy.
Murphy has been averaging 15 and a half. He came in as the number 6 scorer in this tournament. It has not turned out that way. He's looking for a good game today if he can. 7-6. Darnell with the right hand to White. Inside to Ross, the elevator man. The rebound, Lamaka battled by Ross, who fouled him. And that on Lawrence Ross is his first.
Ross has got a little bit of a bandage support or something on the left wrist, but the fear of his injury yesterday was actually to the head. After he came back in, Ross had some headaches at halftime. Dr. Harlan Hunter told me last night that they then studied for concussion, and there wasn't anything there.
Don't often see that, Mitch. Before the ball was thrown in, Charles Cannon fouled J.D. Crummell.
Don Gibbs was a great small college player at Iowa Wesleyan. Don Gibbs was the first college player in Iowa to ever score 700 points in one season.
Number 15, Rob Thorson, a 6'1" senior, is the lineup, replacing Clark. That for Fort Dodge. That's Thorson. Ross hit the ball out of his hands. Again, picked up by Cannon. The feed is off to Ross. Tried to get it back. Picked up by Thorson. Long pass down court to Lamaka, to Jimmy Crooks. Bango!
Wow!
Crooks has his first scoring. It's 8-7. Fort Dodge back in the lead by 1, led earlier by 2. Darnell with the 16-footer. Draws iron. The rebound, Lamaka doing a good job in the early going. Gives it to Thorson. Down the north sideline.
Talk about Lawrence Ross coming off of injury yesterday. That Lamaka has had arthroscopic surgery since football season, and he's playing.
Lamaka inside over the top of Ross. Ross with the rebound. Taken away by Lamaka. Free throw. And it is White with the rebound. Gives it to Cannon. He busts out of there in a hurry. And it was Jimmy Crooks picking his pocket beautifully. To Crumley, to Crooks, who walked with it.
But he takes an extra step. That's like an extra 10 yards. He's got a big stride. That's Bob Locker, the referee. They're wired for sound. You'll be hearing from them during the game.
3:14 remaining to be played in the opening quarter. Good game. Good start. 3A consolation title. White looking inside, finds Ross. He gives it beautifully to Williams, who puts it up. Doesn't get it. The rebound battled for, and it's a traveling violation on Thorson. He battled for it along with Cannon. Both teams are quick and fast, and that's not a contradiction in terms. Darnell hollering out something to his teammates on the offensive set, gets it into White. He'll try it from the three-point range. That's a fine rebound by Cannon. Cannon can sky, as you can tell.
At 6'1", he gets an awful lot of rebounds.
Averaging 6 rebounds a game during the season, that's a lot. Burlington back out on top, 11-10. Led earlier by 3 on 2 occasions. This is Thorson with the right hand. Perfect.
Don't dare give him that one.
Thorson averaging just a couple of points a ball game on the season, but he hit a big one there. He was scoreless in the Dowling ball game and picked up 3 in the Carroll Kemper loss.
Fort Dodge making their 6th appearance. Burlington's 10th trip to the state tournament.
By 1, Fort Dodge. Wheeling and dealing was Ross. You saw it rejected by Crooks, but picked up by White. He gives it to Cannon with the fake and the drive, and they grab his arm. Who did the grabbing? J.D. Crumley, his first personal foul.
Well, team-wise, you have Burlington with 2. You're now in the bonus. That's the 5th one on Fort Dodge.
There's Gary Reiners, his First trip down here, his first year. He's had a great year at Fort Dodge.
Was the sophomore coach for 7 years at Fort Dodge.
Well, the girls won everything in basketball. They won volleyball. I hear they're wrestling champions. They've just had a superb interscholastic athletic season. A follow-up by Ross. That's 4 for Lawrence Ross. And it's 13-12. Burlington back out in front. Glad you came. 2 minutes left to go. Opening quarter. J.D. Crumley with a right hand against the 2-3 zone. Inside to Crooks. Has his pocket. No, it was across the hands, and it was Darnell who caught him.
That's a lot of size.
That's his first personal foul, Darnell.
You take a look at that guy. That's Crooks in there with the basketball trying to find some room, dumped it off. Then the foul.
3 team fouls for Burlington. That's J.D. Crumley. The pass into Lamica. Lamica missing that shot attempt. Cannon. They come out in a hurry. Gives it to Darnell. Almost had it taken away. But they set it up with 1:35 left to play in the first quarter.
Boy, it helped to be built close to the floor that time. Three-pointer.
Three-pointer from Darnell. He drains it. Averaging 9 points a ball game, which is what he scored in the West Waterloo loss. He picked up 12 in beating Southeast Polk. J.D. Crumley with 1:15 left in the quarter.
That was Darnell's second three-pointer of the tournament.
4-point lead Burlington. It's biggest that either team has had over the other. J.D. nice move. Comes up short. The rebound Cannon. The foul is going to be called on Lamica. And that is his first.
Well, and so we're shooting on the 1-and-1, the bonus situation for Burlington.
Good look at Lamica playing well here in the early going.
Take a look at this, that three-point from outside the 21-foot range, all the way up, zap.
That was about a 23.5-footer.
All
Super shot by Darnell. Now we have a change coming in shortly. For Burlington, here is Jerry Porter, a 5'8" junior replacing Darnell. And another change, Robbie Harper.
Get at the line. Jeff Williams has 2 nicknames. They call him Twirly, and they call him Raff.
Just a sophomore. He now has hit 4 out of 5 free throws here this afternoon. He had 27 points total in the previous 2 games in the tourney. And we're getting a change. Eddie Larson comes in, 6'1" senior, real hustler for the Fort Dodge Dodgers.
Lamica goes to take a breather.
Candid look at Jeff Williams, averaging 12 with 7.5 rebounds. Second miss of a free throw after putting away 4. Jimmy Crooks.
Oh, he came close to a step on that
Some
one.
of the officials in the crowd thought he walked. We're under 1, 17-12. The spread is 5. J.D. Crumley misses. Harper tries to pass it up court. It's in the hands of Williams. A bounce pass to Ross. Puts it up with the right hand. The rebound. Williams. Look at him work. The rebound taken off by Murphy. He clears it to J.D. Under 40 seconds left. Crumley comes down. Bango. His first scoring of the afternoon.
I have to feel that maybe Jeff Williams and old Super Sam have had some one-on-one games from his moves.
I think so. Jerry Porter, the 5'8" junior, drops it for Harper. Had a hunch, changed his mind. Ross from about 17.5. Murphy on the rebound. We've got 17 seconds left. Larson gives it over to J.D. Crumley. Burlington out front by 3. Thorson, J.D. Almost lost it, did lose it. Here's a race for the ball. 2 seconds, 1 second. The quarter should end. It does. That's the end of the first frame with the score. Burlington 17, Fort Dodge 14.
Just stay in the huddle till the horn goes.
Jeff Williams, with a total of 8 points in the first quarter, has paced Burlington to this 3-point lead, 17-14. They have led by 5. They've trailed by 3. We were tied once. That was at 2-all. Fort Dodge's balanced scoring all the way up and down the line. The most anyone has is Murphy with 4 on a couple of field goals. The second period, a little sportsmanship. Crooks and Darnell, the rest of them shaking hands. We're ready to go. Ross against Crooks. Crooks 6'8", Ross 6'3". He jumps 6'8".
These are two schools that are very successful in the W column, but they also are student bodies that have a whole lot of fun. We're going to talk about that a little bit in this quarter.
Crooks controlling the tip to J.D. Crumley, gives it to Thorson. Out to J.D. in the corner to Murphy. Thorson. Murphy, he'll try the profile shot 18 feet away. Murphy with the best start he's had of the 3 games. He has a total of 6, 17-16.
These are also two of the schools that have made the most money off of indoor sports this year.
Ross over Crooks with that hole.
Oh!
A dazzler from Ross.
College coaches write that down.
Back to 3, Burlington. 7:20 left. J.D. in the backcourt, a little trouble up to Larson. Underneath the Crooks, doesn't get it there. Picked off. Shane gives it up to Darnell. He's got Ross on his wing. He'll try it too hard. You saw Cannon up on the board for the rebound, committed the foul, nods his head in agreement.
Agrees with referee Robert Slater on that one. Talk about the fun they have. Mark, before the games down at Burlington, their tumbling group and their cheerleader group comes out and does some routines that are really entertaining of the crowd. And also they have, I think, maybe the only organ in a gymnasium in Iowa and high school. They play that. At halftime, they have rock concerts in the cafeteria. They give away $100 bills on shots from the center line.
And J.D. Crumley fires from about 14. You saw the rebounding statistics. Burlington 2-1, 14-7 over Fort Dodge. There's a look at the score.
They really make sports fun at Burlington. And they're drawing well, about 2,500 people a home game.
That's Cannon. Drops it off for Ross. And Jim Crooks has the basketball on the rebound. Up to Thorson. Gives it to Murphy. We're under 6.5. Thorson comes out to J.D. Crumley.
Has Fort Dodge had fun?
Nice move. He'll try one from 12.5. Tipped up by Murphy, no good. The rebound goes into the hands of Lawrence Ross.
Third straight Saturday that Fort Dodge has spent Saturday in this gym. 2 weeks ago, they won the state wrestling championship here. Last Saturday night, their girls team won the state championship here, and they're back today.
What a superb rejection there by Murphy. You saw him go up right on the ball and slapped it out of bounds as White was attempting a 3-pointer.
They even had a singing jingle on the radio stations of Fort Dodge about their athletics.
Cannon right on the money with a 3-pointer. Total of 5 points for Charles Cannon. 22-18. The spread is 4. Slapped out of bounds. Touch last by White. Burlington has led by 5. We've got a couple of changes coming in for the Greyhounds. One of them,
Lawrence Ross is going out.
Randy Gibbs, the coach's son, a 6'3" junior. Number 2 son, you'll remember Rusty Gibbs, who played for his dad. Also in is Jeff Sourwine, 6'4" senior, Sourwine. Murphy on the far side gives it inside to Lamica. Lamica trying to give it to Crooks, but it was slapped, I believe, by Williams.
Asked Don Gibbs what he thought about coaching his 2 sons, and he said he thought it was a great privilege.
Most coaches do. The only thing they don't like to do is take it home. Sometimes they have to, but they don't like to. J.D. Crumley, he'll get 2 from about 18.
John David.
Give him 6 on 3 field goals, 22-20. And Darnell quickly in the front court for the Greyhounds of Burlington in the predominantly gray uniform. That's a 3-point attempt. Missed by Cannon. Follow up Cannon. Rebound Jimmy Crooks. On his back is Sourwine. And that on Jeff Sourwine is his first personal foul. We'll move down to the west end of the court and let Crooks try his free
throw. Take another look at that one when they go back up. Well, on the back.
On the back is right. Crooks takes up his share of room under there.
Oh, do he?
But he moves smoothly. He has grace. Don't kid yourself. He plays tough.
Likes to slam dunk it. Unanimous all Big 8 conference player.
44% from the free throw line. And he misses his only attempt so far this afternoon. This is Darnell with the move. Jimmy Crooks clears the board, brings it up to J.D. Crumley. Here come the Dodgers. Crumley on the wing, gives it to Thorson, back to Crumley. Murphy, look out. Caught in the whirlpool.
Murphy's having a better day today.
8 points on 4 field goals. Yes, he is, Mitch. We're tied at 22. Last time we were tied was at 2. So that was in the opening seconds. This is Darnell. For the Greyhounds, giving to Cannon. Cannon with the move and the left-handed shot. We're going to call it offense. It's going to be on Cannon. He put down Jimmy Crooks. That takes a little bit of doing.
Yes, I think maybe Crooks might have had some hinges on his heels that time. He wanted to draw that and go down.
Harper comes in as Cannon picks up his third in a hurry, and they give him a rest. So it's Robbie Harper, 5'10" senior, back in. He's a guard reserve. Pretty steady, doesn't make any mistakes.
In AAA, you have bench. Both these clubs have used it already.
The Dodgers with a basketball in the person of J.D. Crumley. From 13 feet, 6 inches. He misses. Lamica picks it up, tries to get it underneath, but Williams saw it coming and cleared it off. He intended it for Murphy, but he couldn't get it to him.
That Jeff can spring.
Yes, he can.
We're going under 4 minutes.
Harper goes inside the sour wine. He got it over Crooks.
I don't think that's what he had in mind when he first made the turn.
He didn't.
He just took the only shot he could have without traveling.
And I think Crooks got a piece of it and still went in.
Might have.
24-22. Burlington by 2. You're looking at Crumley. Crumley goes to Murphy. Murphy goes over the top of Gibbs. And Murphy has his 10th point on his 5th field goal. He's got a soft touch. He's a good jumper, as you can tell. It just hasn't come to 4 here so far in the tournament. It is here this afternoon. Williams gives it to Gibbs. Gibbs over Crooks. The rebound to Lamica. Long pass down court intended for Thorson. It gets there. Beautiful bounce pass to Crooks. And Crooks scores. Thorson with that superb assist.
When he's in that low, there's nothing you can do about it when he gets the ball. Talk about power to the basket.
Wow. Darnell gives it underneath to Gibbs. Slapped out of bounds by Murphy. Murphy playing well. He's having a ball game.
Starters
and of course
are back.
They need it.
Starters coming back Burlington.
Yep.
Well, Jeff Williams is going out. So's Gibbs.
So Ross checks back in, and so does White. Taking the ball out is Darnell. They rarely rest him. That's Harper out there with White. Drops it inside for Ross. He'll try the fadeaway over Lamica. Comes up short. Murphy picks it out of midair. Gives it to J.D. Crumley. The Dodgers head west in a hurry. Over on the far side to Murphy. Thorson, look out. Get half of it. The rebound to Ross. Darnell. Lamica, towering rebound.
Well,
big pass to Crooks. Look out. He blows the dunk. White. Long rebound out to Darnell. It's 26-24 by 2. Fort Dodge. Nice pass underneath Sauerwein. Intimidated by Crooks, who might have touched the ball, and the overlay is picked up by Thorson down easily to Lamica.
Other than an air ball, I suppose a missed slam dunk is life's most embarrassing moment, huh?
Oh, it is. He was a little bit indecisive, and I think that's why it happened, Mitch. I'm impressed with the Dodgers' speed and quickness. They can get the ball down in a hurry. Good passing. Harper with the basketball, guarded by Thorson.
No doubt why they were able to beat West Waterloo this year during the regular season. Their speed.
They intended that for Ross. Darnell's pass goes astray. The ball goes to Fort Dodge. Here's Larson back in the lineup for Fort Dodge.
Jeff Williams back in for Burlington.
Crooks gets a rest.
Going out, Shane White for Burlington.
End line backcourt, you're looking at Larson. Give it to J.D. Crumley, picked up by Darnell. Minute 35 left to play. First half. 3A Consolation. Good ball game. That's Larson from 16. His first scoring of the afternoon.
Fort Dodge.
30-24, a 6-point lead. Biggest lead of the day by either club.
And Fort Dodge had a good second quarter.
Excellent second quarter. They trailed by 3 at the break. Goes astray, a pushing foul. Murphy on Ross, I believe. That's right. And Murph has picked up his second personal foul.
You're looking at a great athlete when you look at Lawrence Ross down there. The kids call him Fing. First team All-State defensive back. This kid is probably a better baseball pitcher than he is football player or basketball player, if you can imagine.
He is 64% from the line. He misses his only attempt so far. 30-24 as the rebound is contained by Burlington. That's Ross taking it. Drops it for Darnell. Under a minute. Over to Robbie Harper. He'll try from a 3-point range. Gets his own rebound. Try for 2. Got it.
Try again.
Harper's first basket of the afternoon. Crumley down quickly at 30-26. Ball slapped out of his hands and out of bounds. Darnell calls it one way, the official the other. You know who won it, and Darnell smiles.
That's like arguing with your wife, isn't it?
I know. Well, with 40 seconds left, J.D. Crumley gives the ball to Thorson. Dodgers have a good bench. Both teams have a pretty good bench, as a matter of fact. Larson across court to Thorson. Changed his mind. Maybe he'll go for one.
Three-pointer, he faked.
J.D. Crumley and Thorson playing catch. Thorson will try it with the right hand. The rebound goes to Ross. He gives it up to Harper. Picked up by J.D. Crumley. And goes up on top to Darnell with 15. Darnell from 3-point range. Larson with the long rebound. Gives it up to J.D. 9 seconds. You can look at the countdown on your screen. Beautiful pass. Lamica. They pick his pocket. Darnell gets it. He won't get it away. That's the end of the first half with the score. For Dodge 30, Burlington 26. And we'll be back later with the second half of today's game. But now, let's rejoin our public And from Festival 85, we return to Basketball Festival 85 here at Vets Auditorium, where here after the first half, it's Fort Dodge by a 30-26 margin. They did a number on Burlington, 16-9, outscoring them in that second period. There's the Greyhound mascot as we take a look at the tail of the tape. 5 more field goals by Fort Dodge. Look at the shooting percentages. Fort Dodge hot from the field. Look at the turnover situation. That's pretty close. And then the rebounds, we find that Burlington dominates in that category by 7. The free throw situation is a little bit interesting. We've had Fort Dodge with just 1 free throw attempt. Burlington has made 4 out of 8. So though there may be a difference in the field goals, 5 more field goals by Fort Dodge, the 4 free throws by Burlington has helped the Dodgers, but they still are down by a total of 4 points here at intermission time.
Mark, this is a Fort Dodge team that has to fight for their life right now to get 3rd place in the state tournament. But they already have victories over both of the candidates in tonight's meeting. They beat Carroll Kemper in overtime. They beat West Waterloo in double overtime, and then beat West Waterloo again. But they've got to fight Burlington here, come uphill. They've got a 4-point lead to get 3rd place behind those 2 they've beaten.
Well, and fight's a good word because it's a scrappy Burlington ball club. They want that consolation title too. 4 points obviously is not decisive, and as some teams have found out, 25 points is not decisive.
They have to get 3rd
play.
place. They had 4th last year to make this season a success.
One at a time, right? And then come back next year for runner-up, and then the year after that take the title. All right, we'll introduce you or reintroduce you to the starters. Jimmy Crooks and Clark, along with J.D. Crumley and Murphy, starting out there for Fort Dodge, and rounding out that 5 will be Brian Lamica. The Greyhounds, Cannon out there shaking hands with Jimmy Crooks, and then Williams comes out, as does White, Lawrence Ross, and Darnell. So the same way we opened up the ball game is the way we start the second half. 2 good basketball teams, as I said before, rated number 1 and 2 in the state of Iowa, coming into the tournament. Number 1 and 2 will be determined tonight at 8:15.
Both of these
real 1 and 2.
These schools and teams are eligible yet for the Sportsmanship Award, and these kids for the All-Tournament team yet tonight also.
3 field goals by Murphy in the second quarter helped. They did a number on Williams, who sat out part of the time. He did not score in the second quarter after getting 8 points in the first quarter. This is Williams. Look at the move up with the left hand, a little hard. And the rebound taken by Williams. He's all over the place. Mr. Hustle, Mr. Excitement.
Super sophomore.
What a building block. Williams drops it for Ross, talking about excitement.
Did he get up in the air?
Give him a total of 8 points now on 4 field goals. 30-28, narrows it to 2. J.D. Crumley in the backcourt being chased by Cannon. Gives the board to Lamica. Trying to get it into Jimmy Crooks. He does. Crooks bangs it home. Nice shot by Crooks.
And so the scoring's been done by the centers for both ball clubs to start the 3rd quarter.
6 for Crooks. 32-28. Down to 7. Good ball game. 3A consolation. Right on the money, inside or outside, Lawrence Ross.
He's hit the last 2 in a row now for Burlington. When Crooks scored, he became the leading scorer in AAA basketball in this tournament with 43 points, along with Chris Gaines of West Waterloo.
Tipped away and picked up by Lamica. So it's retained by the Dodgers. He'll try the shot. Crooks trying to get it. He cannot, and it'll be a foul called underneath on Williams.
There's some real contact between Lawrence Ross and Crooks also.
Indeed.
On the rebound.
You take a look at this. Those are big bodies, and they're doing the battling up there above the rim to start with. Williams was the one that was called.
Inside, nice, niftily to Clark, and he puts it in. So they catch Burlington sleeping on that one. Clark gets his first basket. He's averaging 14 and a half, but he had to sit out part of the time in the first half because of foul trouble. Darnell brings it up. 34-30 is the score by 4. Fort Dodge enjoys the lead right now. This is Jeff Williams against Lamica. With the left hand, it doesn't go. Williams on the rebound. Boy, he plays tough. That kid plays tough. A total of 10 for Williams. Constant motion. 34-32.
With Williams in there for Burlington.
J.D. Crumley.
And with Clark in there for Fort Dodge, you've got the number 1 and number 2 rated in the season as teams playing sophomores. That doesn't happen often in AAA.
Bodes well for their future, doesn't it? Beautiful block by Clark.
There's a kid
on the
named...
shot attempt. And look at Cannon even applauding the effort.
Yep. You take a look at this. This was an effort. What's coming up in the air? Good block. Even Cannon appreciate that.
Isn't that? You don't see that too often. This is Darnell handling it to Williams. The pass underneath. Clark picks up another foul, and that is Thomas Clark's third personal foul.
And if you think it's unusual for Thomas Clark to be playing for Fort Dodge as a sophomore, Wade Luckingbill is on that team as a freshman. Here's another look at it in the contact inside.
Clark got there a little bit late. Long pass comes out. This is Cannon. White, Cannon. The baseline move over the edge of the backboard, and he almost got it. The rebound to Murphy. Up to Clark. Clark with the feed to Lamica. He fell down and traveled.
Boy, every time he goes down, he has to wonder about that knee that went out during football season. He's wearing a black expansion bandage on it.
And that's how necessary it may be, we're not sure, because the surgery was totally successful. He doesn't favor the knee, as you can tell. He plays with total abandon. Bombs away from Cannon, or rather from Williams. The rebound taken off by Jimmy Crooks. Down to J.D. Crumley, 51% from the field. The rebound into the hands of Clark. Darnell fouls him. That on Darnell, personal foul number 2.
And when Darnell fouls, you usually know it. He is a stocky guy. Watch this one. It's batted around out there. Now Darnell goes up. Great spring for his size.
Boy, anytime you need
5'9".
2-3 yards, give it to him.
When the football season ended, he missed a career rushing record by 16 yards at Burlington.
62%er from the line, Thomas Clark. His first free throw attempt of the day. He fouled out of the ball game with Carroll Kemper. Lost that one 71-59.
He too was a halfback on their sophomore football team.
So Clark gets them both. 38-32. It's up to 6 for the second time. Fort Dodge. Biggest lead. They had it earlier in the ball game in the second quarter. Darnell feeds it inside to Williams. Can't get it. Crooks on the rebound. Outlet. Out to Clark. And he waits for the gang to catch up. Near side to J.D. Crumley. Murphy. Far side to Clark. 17 feet. Rebound underneath. Taken by Williams. Long pass down to Cannon. Working against J.D. Crumley. Offensive foul called on Cannon.
Cannon didn't agree with that one. You take a look at it here, and they're calling it on the charge on Cannon. He didn't like the call.
And they're going to take a timeout. Timeout on the floor with the score for Dodge 38, Burlington 32. Now this word from your local station.
It wasn't that good a call.
No, but I thought he was going to lay one on him.
Yeah. T.
Is that the bench?
Yep. I don't know. Came during the timeout.
I would think so, unless it was delayed. Was something said?
Must have said something out of the huddle over there.
Well, that'd be 2, won't it?
Well, if it was a kid, it'd be 1. If it was a coach, it'd be 2.
Right, that's what I say. If it's the bench, he's going to get 2. Okay. It's on the coach.
Wait till the horn. Wait till the horn goes. Wait for the horn. Bobby, you're handling it. I'll take it across the court.
During the timeout, a technical foul was called. It was assessed against the bench of Coach Don Gibbs. As a result, Murphy will put a couple up. He's 2 attempts. He's a left-hander.
I thought Cannon was close to the technical when he slapped the floor with both hands.
I did too, Frosty.
But it must have come on the bench.
Which must have agreed with Cannon.
Right.
And just took it a little too far. And instead of a 6-point deficit, it's an 8. And of course, it can be a 4-point swing because the basketball will go to Fort Dodge as well. There's Coach Don Gibbs. He's been around a long time. Well, of course, something like that might inspire his team,
Fort Dodge
too.
would have had the ball after the offensive foul anyway.
True. True. J.D. Crumley. Cross-court pass to Clark. He'll try it from about 20. So that was a very profitable turn of events. 6 points for Clark and it's 42-32. That's a 10-point lead. Biggest lead of the ball game by either ball club.
Burlington had a 10-point spurt yesterday when they got down.
This is Ross working heavy. The ball is kicked by Murphy. It didn't go out of bounds, but he kicked it.
Right. Not allowed to do that.
Yep.
That's Jerry Kindhart, the referee, about to hand the ball to Darnell.
Darnell, west end of the court. 18 and a half feet away. Williams with a bell ringer. He has a dozen.
They needed that one. Full court pressure going on now for Burlington.
Williams, averaging 12 on the season, has just hit his average. He had 14 in the Southeast Polk game, the opener, and came back with 13 in the loss.
That's a good shot of a 21-foot ring out there.
Traveling, called on Clark. They'll give the ball to Burlington, which needs it.
All right, if they're going to get a spurt going, this is where the run could begin. They've got 2 in a row. Coach
Gary Reiner's looking on. We have a nice attraction here for you in this 3A Consolation this afternoon. Winterset won it in 2A. Sioux Center in 1A. Left hand, a little bit too strong. Lamica comes off with the rebound down to J.D. Crumley against Darnell. J.D. has a total of 10 points.
And Hedrick in the Class A.
Right on. In overtime. So we're back to 10 for the second time. Fort Dodge. Underneath, nicely to Williams. He blows it. The rebound picked up by Lamica. They give it to Crooks. Tipped away by Ross. Heads up play by Lawrence Ross. Over to Burlington.
The reason it wasn't over and back is he had a foot on each side of the line when he got the pass.
Cannon gives it to Williams. Brings it out to Darnell. To Williams. Bombs away. That was a three-point attempt. The rebound taken by J.D. Crumley, and Williams may have fouled him. He did. His second.
A real try to get that basketball. Burlington down by 10. That's the sophomore. You take a look at it. Now Williams will be the man number 30, trying to reach in right there.
He's constant motion, isn't he?
Yep.
He is going all the time. Up, down, left, right. 2.5 left to play. A little bit better. 44-34. We're in the third. Fort Dodge has the hammer and the basketball. With the right hand, Crumley. Murphy. And they strip him. Darnell has the ball. He's got Ross on the wing. He'll try it. 5 for Darnell, including a three-pointer. 44-36. Fort Dodge. And J.D. Crumley working it against Cannon. Comes into that east court here at Betts Auditorium. Over to Murphy. J.D. Crumley to Lamica. Nice pass. Slapped out of bounds by Darnell. Intended for Jimmy Crooks.
Had Crooks got the pass, it would have been 2.
You bet. He had the spot.
As it was too bad.
Robbie Harper, 5'10" senior, coming in. Burlington change. They're resting Cannon.
Cannon is a loose player.
As Mitch has recounted, Burlington, the entire school and team have a lot of fun, and you can just sense it.
Well, I'll tell you, they
enjoy themselves.
They have a fundraising golf tournament for celebrities or VIP tournament in the summertime. The high school puts on to raise money.
Jimmy Crooks with a sweet move. As we told you, he's agile. A total of 8 for Jim.
I know a certain curly-headed sports announcer, television type that got a speeding ticket going to that last year.
3-point attempt by Darnell. It doesn't go. It hit the line, out of bounds. They'll give the ball to Fort Dodge.
The moral of the story is don't be listening to your wife while you're driving. A minute and a half, Mark. 10 points.
Yep, in the third. And we're going to have Larson come in. He's switching for Lamica.
Both these benches, I think, are trying to keep a revolving door to keep some fresh kids out there because they both went full boat yesterday.
And it's fortunate they have the talent to do that. But they do. They're both 7 or 8 deep. Burlington uses 9 kids. The pass is over to Thorson. He walked with it. Carried it up on his shoulder, as you saw. Stays at 10 with a minute 20.
They should have bench, though. Burlington's got 656 boys in the high school. Fort Dodge has 500.
That's more than Palmer does.
In the whole town.
Darnell into the front court. Robbie Harper. It's White, partially blocked by Murphy. Good defense. Pass up to Larson, saves it from going out of bounds. And Thorson gives to J.D. Crumley. We're under a minute left to play in the third. There's the graphic on the countdown on your screen. Over on the far side to Thorson. Did they hit him? Yeah, on the arm.
Must have.
And that was Darnell, his third.
You take a look at it and see if you can see Darnell reach in there and get him. Darnell says, who, me?
Thorson, a 79%er from the line, is yet to attempt a free throw. Here's Gibbs back in, and White goes out. So we'll look at Thorson, the senior, 6'1". He can actually dunk the ball. He's got that kind of spring. Plays golf, but he drives a lot more carefully when he goes to golf meets than some other people do. 45 seconds left to go. That's Ross. He's traveling. And he's disappointed in himself over that. He has a total of 10. He's averaging 20 and a half. Overall, Ross has not had a particularly distinguished tournament.
Bench
of course,
from
part of
Burlington.
that is because of the injury.
Bench from Burlington was trying to get him to reverse a call there for some reason.
Robbie Harper steals it. He traveled. Harper traveled after he got possession of the ball.
This last 20 seconds has really been ragged.
It'll go back to the Dodgers. Larson will take it out.
Don Gibbs just says, hey.
Northern sidelines, front court, Betts Auditorium. This is down at the East End.
Don's 49 years old, and he says, hey, I've been here before.
He's been in the wars, is right.
Fort Dodge might go for one shot here.
That's Murphy down at the baseline. Come out to J.D. Crumley. You can see the countdown under 15 now. Murphy moves in, can't get it going. Murphy with the shot.
That's the difference in their ball club today right there.
No question about it. He has a total of 14, and it comes to a close. That's the end of the third quarter with a score for Dodge 48, Burlington 36. And we'll be back after this word from your local station.
All right, here's Mike Murphy. He's going to get his 16th point, I think, of the day right here. Well, no, he made the pass inside. There's Murphy. And Murphy, when he drains that one, has 16 for the day. Compared to yesterday, that's a career. And that's a big reason that Fort Dodge is leading right now instead of trailing as they were yesterday at this time.
Big third quarter for Fort Dodge. They outscored Burlington 18-10. They won the battle of the second quarter 16-9. And as a result, they're out in front by 12, as Mitch said, and that's their biggest lead of the ball game. So it's uphill for Burlington. Burlington, however, has the credentials to get back into it. Let's see if they can.
Well, you're looking at the cream of the crop out here right now. The AAA are the 64 biggest high schools in the state.
Crooks controlled it. It went into the hands of Cannon, rolled right out into J.D. Crumley's hands. Gives it to Lamica. 20-footer by Crumley. He has a dozen. 50-36 by 14 now. Biggest spread of the ball game. This is Williams with the left hand, trying to bank it home. Murphy on the boards, scoring and rebounding. Murphy having a good game. J.D. Crumley to Lamica. Lamica driving around, and Williams caught him with his leg, I think.
Yep, I think it was the leg, not the hand.
And that's 3 on Jeff Williams.
Fort Dodge has only one foul in the second half of this ball game. And Fort Dodge,
that's significant,
is fighting at free throw line a very good friend right now.
So let's watch Lamica. And he is often called Lamonica. It is Lamica, L-O-M-I-C-A, Brian.
Lamica, in addition to being a quarterback, ran a relay in the state track meet last year. All-conference utility player in baseball as a sophomore.
All-state football, Mitch?
Got some mention.
Okay. Misses the second free throw. He's a total of 5. Lamica with the ball slapped out of his hands by Darnell and out of bounds. They'll return it to Fort Dodge.
Boy, that Darnell is quick as a cat.
Always working. Crumley from three-point range. He drains it. 15 for Crumley, his first three-pointer of the afternoon.
And
54-36. Mercy, that's
Burlington better get something going.
right. An 18-point spread. That's the biggest lead of the ball game. And that is a tough row to hoe now.
A Burlington ball club that had not lost since a year ago today when they lost the consolation game here.
Stolen by Monica. And stolen back by Darnell. He's going to go all the way. Ooh. Oh, Clark. You saw him go up attempting to block it, and then he hit and slipped.
Was he a tough
He
kid?
hit hard. But he bounces up. I don't know how they
Take
do
a
it.
look at this. Look at Darnell reach in there. He bats it loose. Now Darnell plays volleyball with himself. Here he comes. He is hurrying down there. Goes up. That's Clark coming around trying to stop it. Did you see go out of the viewfinder of the camera right there? The thud you heard was through the referee's microphone.
And that'll put Darnell on the line, of course. It's 54-38.
They needed that.
Yep. Total of 8 points now for Darnell.
We're under 7 minutes in consolation.
So they narrowed to 15 after the spread was 18. Lamica giving the ball over to J.D. Crumley. That's Clark looking for Jimmy Crooks, slapped away by Ross. The ball will go back to Fort Dodge under its own basket with 6:37 left to go.
Burlington Greyhounds have not given up. That is for sure with 6:37 to go.
That's Clark trying to put it up again by Clark. Perseverance pays off. He has a total of 8.
Pretty super sophomore, that kid, too.
56-39. 17. Williams drops it for Gibbs. Murphy, he's blocked several, right on the ball, out of bounds. Good D.
Fort Dodge, which hasn't ever won it, got a second in 1916 to Cedar Rapids. Take a look at this on the replay.
And we come back live. You're looking at Gibbs shoot, come up short. Lamica on the rebound into the front court quickly. Gives it baseline to Clark. He'll try it. And who gets the foul? It'll be on number 30. That is Jeff Williams, his 4th personal foul.
And the sophomore is in a bunch of trouble.
Yep, but they're not going to save him.
You take a look in there. Williams will be number 30. That'll pick up the foul. He took a bat at the ball from behind.
And we have White back in the lineup as Gibbs goes out. So we have the starting 5 in there currently for Burlington.
In 1919, Fort Dodge won the then called state championship in a tournament at Ames. They beat Council Bluffs. Final score, 16-11.
Really burning up the nets.
That's a quarter score anymore.
Clark with 9 now. He's made 3 out of 3 from the free throw line, by the way. So he's perfect there. He's ordinarily 58-39. 19, that's the biggest lead of the ball game. Traveling violation on Williams, and now the wheels are starting to come off a little bit.
Yep.
6 minutes left to go. And these last 2 games for Burlington have been nightmares, though this one is not over.
What a year they've had. They played the regular season undefeated. Won their conference.
Spectacular year, top rated, you bet. Jimmy Crooks, about 16 feet away. That's Murphy with the follow-up. Again, Murphy went up once, missed it, went again. He has 16. That's his average on the season. This is a three-pointer by Gibbs, by White rather. It's short. The rebound by Lamica, down to Clark.
Mark, the Telelight boards got it for 18.
Beautiful pass underneath to Jimmy. He missed it. Crooks, the rebound comes down. Darnell goes up. Wow.
Nobody wants to draw that offensive foul when Darnell comes down the lane.
Over on the far side, Lamica. 5:10 left to play, 60-41. 19-point lead goes to 21 points as Clark gets another.
But the clock starts to get into the game. We go under 5.
It sure does. 21-point spread. It is narrowed by Williams. Williams has a total of 14. 4:45 remaining. Crumley, backcourt, guarded by Cannon. Gives it up to Clark, picked up by Darnell, and now Cannon's on him. Clark feeds Murphy, looks for Crooks. Crooks inside of Ross. Crooks on the follow-up. 10 by Crooks. Fort Dodge starting to frolic. 64-43, up by 21 for the second time. Far corner, it is Cannon with that left hand. Nifty.
Part of the Fort Dodge
7%.
story that is unique, Mark. Dutch Huseman is the athletic director now at Fort Dodge. He coached the 1968 team, left coaching after 1973. Since then, 6 different coaches tried their luck, and this is the guy that got the job done.
Lamica to Crooks, and Crooks just smoothly whaps it home. A dozen for Jimmy Crooks.
Who's the leading scorer in the tournament now with 49 points.
And
But
for the third time, a 21-point lead.
Chris Gaines, Anthony Thomas, and Terry Woods of West Waterloo will play tonight.
Ross on the follow-up with a missed shot by Cannon, which was a 3-point attempt by Cannon. That's 12 for Ross.
It would appear about the best that Burlington do now. It takes some insult out of injury.
Clark in the front court working against Darnell. Tries to bounce it into Crooks. Stolen away. Ross drops it down for Cannon. Cannon to Ross. The Fire Brigade. 14 for Lawrence Ross.
That ought to be on the highlight film.
66-49. J.D. Crumley. Lamica. Murphy to Crooks. He'll try to bank it home. It doesn't go. The foul is going to be called on White. His first. 2 free throws. Robbie Harper checks in. Cannon checks out.
A handshake at the end of the season coming up from Don Gibbs, I think, over
Sour
here.
wine coming in.
Puts his arms around that kid. You talk about friends. There's a great shot over there.
Yep.
A coach and a young player. It's Friends Week.
That's probably what Gibbs is telling him.
Yep.
You know, son, we've got a couple of years left, you and I.
Don Gibbs has been there a long time. He has tremendous camaraderie. That's Cannon he's talking with now, not Williams.
Right.
He's saying thanks for the memory, kids.
Follow up by Clark on the missed free throw by Crooks. 14 points for Thomas Clark.
You know, talking about, whoop, there's a 3-point try.
That's what they've been doing recently. It hasn't been working. J.D. Crumley with the loose change. And Ross stops him for a loss. 68-49.
Take a look at this if you want to see some contact out there. That's Ross going for it. Boom. Didn't get there. Knocked him down.
So J.D. goes to the line.
That's the coach of the Consolation champions right there, Gary Reiners.
Playing it kind of cool.
We're shooting 2.
2 going, as you can hear the instructions given to Crumley. His first free throws of the day.
He was a good wide receiver on a good football team that made the playoffs at Fort Dodge.
12 against Dowling. He had 2 against Carroll Kemper. And that was his 16th of the afternoon here.
You know, we're talking about Friends Week, Mark. If our friendship here, you and I doing our 14th state tournament, there was a series that started 14 years ago on television that you and I outlasted.
And that was?
Batman and Robin.
That's Ross firing. So they have 2 long range of tries. Nothing happens. On the steal attempt was Darnell. They get it down to Lamica. Overlay. The rebound picked off by White. Darnell pleading for the ball down court. Lost it. Picked up by Lamica. He is fouled. It will count. And the foul will be against White.
And school's out.
I think it has been for the last minute or 2, Mitch.
Yep, I think so. Take a look here as watch the drive in right now.
That's just frustration.
Sure it is.
And Lamica will go to the line for his 8th point. He's played tough, especially on the boards.
If you've enjoyed this one, can you imagine that AAA battle tonight between Kemper of Carroll and West Waterloo?
That could be a study in contrast, where this one had some similarity of play. Lamica has a total of 8.
And before we get to that, we've got a double-A.
You bet. Comanche and Hull Western Christian. They've earned it.
Oh, do they both like to run?
72-49, a 3-point attempt by Darnell. Jimmy Crooks clears it. Lead pass down and out of bounds, too high. Too much of a lead for Crumley. We're down to 2:02. So just playing this one out. We have a change coming in for Fort Dodge. That's Scott Patton, number 43, a 6'1" senior. And also coming in for Fort Dodge will be Mike Thedford, Thedford, a 5'10" senior. He was a starter earlier. Started for Clark. Clark was injured. Three-point attempt by White. No go. Larson comes off with it. Up court to Thorson. Underneath the Crooks. Misses another jam. Thorson on the follow-up. It falls.
Crooks is 0 for 2 on that Dunkaroo today.
4 for Thorson. 74-49.
I thought he was going to bring...
Cakewalk. Three-point attempt by Darnell.
32.
And let's see.
32.
Whistle a foul on White.
That J.D. Crooks looked like he'd go over there on the corner and bench press Veterans Auditorium, doesn't it?
You know, it's interesting. Burlington, an excellent basketball team, comes in here, Mitch. And to lose is really not unusual down here. There's some good teams that can beat you. Jimmy Crooks getting a nice and deserved round of applause and congratulations. But to get bounced and hit this hard in 2 consecutive games.
But look how the odds build up on them being undefeated throughout the whole season. They were number 1 from the first rating right through. There's a burden that goes with all of that.
But as we said, they're a good ball club.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being number 4 out of 64.
So Larson, who started for Lamica earlier in the year, gets a couple of free throws, adds to his total of 4. Darnell from the inside, draws iron, follow up by Sauerwein.
Sauerwein limping. He came down on an ankle, apparently.
25-point lead. It was 27. Clark. It is back to 27 for the second time. Darnell with 1 minute 3 seconds left to play. Robbie Harper.
The most points that
Sauerwein.
that Fort Dodge scored this year was 91 against Waterloo Central. They're on 78 now.
Darnell for 3. Comes up short. Larson with the rebound. The pass up to Thorson. They got a 3-on-1. Thorson will try it. And Darnell fouls it.
Darnell's coming up short on those 3-point shots. And it's because the legs are a part of the jump shot. And this guy has motored back and forth.
Played all day.
It's not his shot. It's his legs that are gone.
Fatigue, of course. And you're even more fatigued because you're trying to catch up. That takes extra energy and effort. We've got a change coming in.
Zeb Mosley.
Fort Dodge.
Face up, man. We'll shoot 2.
Mosley is a 6'1" junior.
They'll make a change for the shooter, too. They want to get everybody in.
With 42 seconds left. Thorson on the line.
1 man.
Second time he has missed from the line.
There's a guy pretty satisfied over there.
79% free thrower.
Ed Larson
gets that one.
Yep, the shooter's going out. Let them all play.
Yep. So coming in will be Amin Al-Hamid, a 5'9" junior, number 11. Also checking in, 35, is Jim Ernest.
Now, his name is not Al-Hamid, and Mark wasn't saying Amin Al-Hamid. That's all his name. Nothing mean about this kid.
And let's see, do we have everybody accounted for?
I think so.
All right. That's Darnell, of course.
No
and
shot. 53.
53 before the shot. That is Rob Rhodes, a 6-foot junior, who picks up his initial personal foul.
Yep, everybody who dressed for Fort Dodge has now can say, I'm a part of the third-place game.
And still no free throws.
That's right.
Still no free throws.
Burlington has not shot because of bonus.
Remarkable. Robbie Harper, Ross from about 24 feet, right on the numbers that time.
Your center gets your 3-point shot.
Anybody, you know. Somebody put it up. There's the shot attempt. It is not good, and the follow-up is.
54 is by far the fewest points that Burlington has scored in a game this year.
Mosley with that follow-up has 2, 81-54. Darnell puts it up short. Ross comes away with it. 4 seconds. Ross's shot is perfect. That could be it. That is it. It's over. Fort Dodge wins this consolation title quite handily, 81-57. So Fort Dodge takes third place as a result of that big effort It was Burlington 17-14 after the first quarter of play, but then it was Fort Dodge all the way, winning the battle of the second quarter 16-9, the third quarter 18-10, and then really putting it away here in the final quarter to win it 81-57. All right, there's Coach Reiners. He doesn't look particularly enamored, accepting the congratulations. Handshakes. We're going to go down to center court now for the awards presentation. Here's Mo Kelly.
Present the trophies to these two outstanding Class 3A teams and medals to some outstanding young athletes, two members of the Board of Control of the Iowa High School Athletic Association. Jackie Parkin from Fairfield represents the school boards of Iowa on the Board of Control, and assisting her will be Jack Honschel, the superintendent of schools at Centerville. They've been here a couple years in a row, have had two outstanding seasons back-to-back. How about a nice hand for the consolation runners-up, Coach Don Gibbs and the Burlington Greyhounds. And they won their rugged conference. They came to state, performed outstandingly well. The Fort Dodge Dodgers and Coach Gary Reiners, the Consolation champions.
Okay. Balanced scoring up and down the Fort Dodge lineup. Mike Murphy with 16. We had 12 by Jimmy Crooks, a dozen by Clark Thomas, 15 by Crumley. All of those contributing up and down to help put this one away pretty easily for Fort Dodge. So there we have it. And we hope